Muy buenas noches a todas las personas que se van conectando a esta sesión informativa de Colfuturo con Georgetown University. Hoy tenemos una noche muy especial porque nos acompañan dos escuelas, McCourt School of Public Policy y también McDonough School of Business, que hace parte pues de Georgetown University. Por parte de McCourt School of Public Policy tenemos hoy a Lindsay Monson, quien además viene acompañada de uno de nuestros beneficiarios, Nicolás Quintero, que les estará contando sobre su experiencia de estudiar en esta universidad. Y por parte de McDonough School of Business nos acompaña Marina Land. Ellas dos nos van a hablar sobre la universidad, requisitos de admisión, opciones de financiación y toda esta información relevante para iniciar sus estudios de posgrado en el exterior. Importante recordar que tenemos un convenio con cada una de estas escuelas. Para la escuela de Public Policy, el beneficio es para uno o máximo 5 beneficiarios, quienes recibirán una beca de mínimo $15,000 americanos. La escuela es quien va a seleccionar a quien recibirá este beneficio. Y en el caso de la escuela de negocios, tenemos una beca de $25,000 americanos en el valor de la matrícula para un beneficiario Colfuturo en el Master of Science in Management. Entonces, tengan en cuenta que para poder recibir este beneficio tienen que presentarse primero al programa Crédito Beca, que tiene una única convocatoria y la próxima abrirá en enero 7 y cerrará en febrero 28. Y bueno, sin más introducción, without further ado, thank you, Lindsay, thank you, Marina, for being here today. You may start your presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and start us off. I'm Lindsay Munson. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at the McCourt School. So I'm just going to share my slides here. Great. So I'm going to talk a lot about the McCourt School of Public Policy in particular, but I wanted to just start off with an overview and brief history of Georgetown University and then also the McCourt School. So Georgetown University is located in Washington, D.C. Georgetown is the oldest Catholic and Jesuit institute of higher learning in the U.S. It was founded in 1789 by Father John Carroll, who is the first Roman Catholic bishop in the United States. The university embraces Jesuit traditions of service and education, and there's an emphasis on values such as educating the whole person and people in service to others. The McCourt School is the 9th school at Georgetown and the first new school at the university since 1957. The public policy program originated as an idea in our Department of Government and Economics, and then it expanded in the 1990s. It eventually became renamed the Georgetown Public Policy Institute. And then in October 2013, the Public Policy Institute was established as the Georgetown University McCourt School of Public Policy due to a very transformative gift from one of our Georgetown alumnus, Frank McCourt. And then most recently, very exciting update for us is that in the summer of 2024, the McCourt School moved from our Hilltop campus, which is in the neighborhood of Georgetown, where a majority of our schools are located. We moved from the Hilltop campus to our new home in downtown DC. And so that's at 125 East Street in DC on our growing Capitol campus. And so for the first time in McCourt's history, currently we are all of our students, faculty, staff, and our research centers are all under one roof. So this strengthens our collaboration within our community. And we're also steps away from the U.S. Capitol. So that offers our students who are interested in studying public policy exceptional opportunities to learn, work, and serve in the center of the policymaking world. So that's just kind of a brief overview of our school and kind of how we got to where we are today. We have 5 graduate degree programs at the McCourt School. Georgetown has a lot of graduate degree programs, and you'll hear about some others from Marina in a little bit, but I'm just going to focus on 5 and kind of give you high-level information about them just due to time constraints, but happy to follow up with people that are interested for more details after as well. So our flagship program is our Master's of of Public Policy program. That is our oldest and largest degree program at McCourt. Overall, we take a very quantitative approach to public policy. We are all about driving evidence-based policymaking decisions. So our programs really kind of put an emphasis on quantitative and economic skill building. You can take the MPP on a full-time basis, and you can complete that in 2 years, and in the part-time program you can complete in 3 years. And then we have a smaller program, which we call our Master of International Development Policy program. It's a more specialized version of the MPP. It's a smaller cohort. You can do it full-time only and complete that in 2 years. So basically all the core courses are going to be focused on kind of policies and quantitative skill building and economics that are focused on case studies within the developing world. And then our newest program is our Master of Science in Data Science for Public Policy. And this program is really, like the name says, at the intersection of data science and public policy. Half the core curriculum is coming from our data analytics department at Georgetown, and half is coming from the MPP. So you're really getting kind of core foundational skill sets in policy and data science. And then moving on to our Master of Policy Management program. This one it's more for our mid-career professionals. You need to have at least 5 years of work experience to participate in this program. It's a 1 calendar year program, so it starts in the summer. And if you're a full-time student, you can complete it in that 1 calendar year. So it's summer, fall, spring, and then you can do it also on a part-time basis and do it in 2 years. But it's designed for current or emerging policy leaders, and the curriculum really strikes a balance between analytics, management, and a mastery of specific policy areas. And then finally, we've just relaunched our Executive Master of Policy Leadership program. This program is for folks that have at least 10 years of experience. It's really tailored for seasoned professionals, and that we're equipping them with the necessary policy skills to become a confident, adaptive leader who speaks the language of policy. So you can complete that within the standard format, which is about 15 months. So you're taking 1 week in-person course every 6 weeks. So kind of the structure of the program is really designed for people that may not be able to attend semester-long courses. So 1 week in-person course every 6 to 8 weeks, and then you would complete that in 15 months for the standard program, and then the extended, you could do 1 week in person for approximately 1 to 2 times a semester, including summers, and that can be completed in 3 years. So those are the program offerings that we have. All of our programs have electives, so we don't have any formal concentrations. Some of them, like the International Development program and the data science, are already kind of specialized, but you can even further specialize in different policy areas using electives. So there's no formal tracks, but you could informally focus, and these are just like a sample area of policy interests that students have. So like you can see, we have a lot of electives in health policy, social policy, development policy, economic policy. So just lots of different kind of options that you can really tailor our programs to meet your specific interests and needs. We also allow students to take electives at other graduate programs at Georgetown. So you could take an elective at the business school, the law school, the Foreign Service School, and then we have a DC consortium agreement. So you can take electives at other local DC area schools if we don't have an elective that another school does offer. The options with our MPP program that I mentioned, and the application process for the dual degree is completely separate. So it's different committees. So you would need to submit applications to each of the degree programs. And if you're admitted to both, then you can elect to become a dual degree student. But we have an MPP JD, an MPP MBA, a couple with our Foreign Service School, so the MS in Foreign Service or the MA in German and European Studies. We have a couple joint PhD programs, PhD in Government and PhD in Psychology, and then we also have kind of an international program. We have an MPP SASI degree with HEC Paris, so it's a Master's in Science for Sustainability and Social Innovation as well. So just a lot of options to kind of consider, and definitely happy to provide more details about the curriculum, you can find that on our website. Or if you have specific questions about any of these, I'll provide my email address too, so you can follow up after the session. Kind of speaking briefly about the McCourt advantage, like what kind of makes McCourt stand out, I would say definitely our location in Washington, D.C. If you're interested in studying policy, really there's no better place than being in kind of the center of the policy world in our country, but also globally. So we're steps from the U.S. Capitol. Our students have a lot of practical experience opportunities with internships. They also get they have a lot of good face time with our expert faculty. So just even being a part of Georgetown University, we attract world-class faculty to teach in our program. We also have adjunct faculty that maybe are policy practitioners during the day and coming to teach in the classes at night. So definitely our location. I definitely think our curriculum, like I mentioned, our focus is really on quantitative analysis and skill building. So a lot of hard skill sets for policy analysis. So we're all about driving that evidence-based policy-making decisions and giving our students the skills to do that. I hear a lot from our students that our community is really kind of the standout advantage. It's very collaborative and supportive. It's not a super competitive environment. So there's an emphasis on learning from each other in the classroom. And then also, I think our faculty and staff are very bought into our community. So you're going to really develop really close relationships with, the people you're learning from and the peers that you're kind of learning alongside with. We have several research centers that are kind of under McCourt as well. We also have the Institute of Politics and Public Service. We call this Geopolitics for short. It has incredible programming for the whole Georgetown community, but it's under the McCourt School. So they bring 5 fellows to kind of serve each semester from both sides of the political aisles. So there's campaign managers, journalists, former politicians, pollsters. They lead discussion groups. They hold office hours. Just an incredible resource for kind of understanding the interplay between politics and public service. So that's a really cool opportunity that McCourt students have access to. We also have a career development team that is dedicated to McCourt students. So they provide a variety of resources. They kind of look at your career search as a parallel process to your academic career at Georgetown. So 95% of our students are employed within 6 months of graduation. They're going into all different sectors. So a third go into the public sector, a third go into the private sector, and a third go into the nonprofit sector. And they kind of, throughout your time there, you can do one-on-one strategy sessions with our career counselors. They have professional development workshops. They help connect you with employers they have relationships with. We have an online jobs and internship database. They do networking events, different panels, that sort of stuff. So yeah, just lots of access and opportunities within the McCourt School, within Georgetown, and with DC in general. I think our students, their biggest challenge is figuring out like what they have time for and also what they have to say no to. There's just a lot that our students get to take advantage of. I wanted to talk a little bit about our admissions process to our policy programs. So these are the application requirements. There's a lot more information on our website that goes into detail about each of these requirements, but we do require an application. It's $90 to apply. We'll ask you to submit your resume or a CV. We take a very holistic approach when we review applications. So we're going to look at everything that you submit. We don't really use numerical cutoffs, and we don't really have like a set profile of a student that we're looking for. I think really we're looking for a good fit. So not only, do we think based on your application that you would do well in our program and be an active contributor to our community, but that you've also identified us as a good fit for you, and have a clear motivation for applying. So the academic statement is really the piece of the application that I think is the most important, because it really is the only time that we get to hear from you, and telling us kind of what has sparked your passion for policy, why are you interested in studying it at the graduate level, and then why McCourt? Like, what about our skills, opportunities excite you, and how can we help you reach your general career goals moving forward? There's an optional statement that you can use if you feel like you need more space to tell us more about yourself that you weren't able to address in the academic statement. We will ask for transcripts to be uploaded to your application, official versions of your transcripts uploaded for review from all degree granting institutions. We still require a standardized test for 3 of our 5 programs, so the MPP, MIDP, and data science programs. There is an option to waive it. So basically, since I mentioned we are a pretty quantitatively rigorous program, students sometimes are looking to build those skills. Maybe they've noticed that that is a gap in their resume and they want to come to us to build those skills. So we're not expecting you to have, a stats degree or an econ degree, but we do need to have some sort of predictive measure of how you might do in those types of courses. So the GRE is the standardized test that we see the most often, and that has a quantitative component that can help us if you don't really have a lot of other quantitative background. So it's kind of a data point that can be helpful for students, for the admissions committee to see. If you do waive it, we'll ask you to kind of outline your kind of quantitative capabilities, whether that's coursework or professional experience, and just kind of make a case of why you're ready to kind of start our quantitative coursework. If you're a non-native English speaker, we will require a TOEFL or IELTS score. And so the only other, you could waive that if you've received a degree from an English-speaking institution, but other than that, it would be required. And then we require 3 letters of recommendation for most of our programs. For our executive masters, it's only 2. And we really just recommend you pick people that know you the best and can write you the strongest recommendations. So we'll accept academic or professional. We do have a couple prerequisites for these 3 programs. For our Masters of Public Policy and Masters of International Development Policy, we require a Principles of Microeconomics course. You can apply without that and receive conditional admission, just meaning you have to take that class prior to joining us. And we also offer it for free from Georgetown for students that have deposited and are planning to enroll in our program. So you can meet that requirement through us. And then the data science for public policy, there's no formal prerequisites for that program. However, we do recommend that students have taken maybe a college level calculus course. There's some evidence of technical ability in either computer science, advanced math, or statistics, and that could be coursework or professional experience. And then some familiarity with programming languages such as R and Python is recommended. And then for work experience, I kind of briefly mentioned this. There is no work experience requirement for our MPP or data science programs. On average, our students tend to have 2 to 3 years of work experience, but we do see folks coming straight from undergrad, students that have a couple years of work experience that's not policy related, looking to pivot, and then students that have some policy experience using the program to enhance their career. For our MIDP program, there used to be a 2-year postgraduate relevant professional work experience requirement, but we've relaxed that. So it's not a requirement, but it is recommended. And the reason being is that it's a smaller program, it's more specialized. So having some work experience can help students determine that that is the program for them, so that they're sure they want to kind of focus on international development policy. Also, since it's a small cohort, some professional experience really can enhance kind of the classroom discussion, and kind of you're able to use what you're learning and kind of apply it to kind of your experience. The policy management program, there's a minimum of 5 years of professional work experience. It doesn't have to be policy related, tend to have 9 to 10. And then for the executive masters, it's a minimum of 10 years professional work experience. Again, doesn't have to be policy related. And then our application deadlines, we have 3 main deadlines. The ones that you guys would probably be most interested in is our scholarship deadlines. So if you are applying through Col Futuro and hoping to be a scholarship recipient, you should probably either apply by our early action deadline or our priority deadline to be considered for scholarships from the McCourt School. So we have a final deadline of March 1. That's full admissions consideration, but not most of our scholarship funding has been distributed by that point, so it's not guaranteed that you'd be considered for scholarship. So our early action deadline is December 1st. That is for merit-based and full admissions consideration. And then our priority deadline is January 15th. The main difference between those two is the timing of the decision. So it's equally competitive. So if you apply by December 1, you get a decision by mid-January. If you apply by January 15th, you get a decision by mid-March, but equally competitive for admissions and scholarship consideration. And then speaking about scholarships, we do review all admitted students for merit-based scholarships through the admissions office. They're not need-based. They're mostly partial tuition awards, so they can range from about 3% of tuition. Average award is about 25 to 33% of tuition. And about 75% of our students receive some sort of merit-based funding through our office. We do have 6 full tuition scholarships that we call our McCourt Scholars. And so those are, kind of our most competitive applicants. They have a lot of leadership experience and potential, active in our community, as well as having strong academics. And then our Col Futuro agreement, I believe, was already reviewed, but basically award of $15,000 from McCourt. And this, I just want to make a asterisk with that, is that basically admitted students who receive merit-based scholarship offer from us should be aware that whatever the merit-based scholarship that we award you, that is already inclusive of any of the minimum amount. So you can receive above the $15,000, but that would, so if you were awarded like $25,000, that would include the $15,000 that you're guaranteed as a Col Futuro scholarship recipient. So it wouldn't be in addition to that. And then a lot of the key contacts, the admissions department, you're welcome to email us. We're pretty quick to respond. And then all of our faculty directors for different programs are available to talk with you as well. So that's all that I had. I'm not sure if Nicholas, who is a current or is an alum of the McCourt, has joined us or not.
He's not, Lindsay.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we won't be hearing from him right now, but I will go ahead and turn it over to Marina.
Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you all for joining us today. So my name is Marina Lant. I'm an associate director at the McDonough School of Business within Georgetown University. So I'm going to talk about our one program that's eligible for the Col Futuro scholarship program, which is our Master's of Science in Management, or our MIM program. So I'll just share my screen and chat with you all a little bit about the MIM program. I won't talk too much about Georgetown University in general, but I do want to touch briefly on the McDonough School of Business. Our McDonough School of Business, about the McDonough School of Business, we've been around for a while. We originally grew out of the School of Foreign Service at Georgetown, so very similar to the McCourt School of Public Policy. We were originally an undergraduate degree at the School of Foreign Service and Business, and as we grew, we became our own school. So I often like to say that because of our origins in the School of Foreign Service, the Walsh School of Foreign Service, we really had that international element to business. Business in Georgetown had that international element right from the start. To build on some things that Lindsay already said, she talked a little bit about our growing Capital Campus. Our Master's in Management program also takes place on our Capital Campus. And I think much like McCourt students, our students at McDonough and in the MIM program really benefit from being in downtown DC. You're only a couple of blocks away from various government, business, and nonprofit organizations. Washington, D.C., in addition to being the U.S. capital city, of course, is also a sort of policy and business capital of the world. So there are so many opportunities our students can take advantage of in our capital campus location, as well as having a great community of graduate students around you as you're taking your classes. I would also note that for MIM students in particular, we have a number of centers and initiatives that are housed at the McDonough School of Business that are located on our capital campus. And all of these centers and initiatives, their goal is to engage students, faculty, staff, community members, alumni around different areas of business. We have a full list on our website, but a couple of key centers or initiatives are around business and public policy, business for impact, and AI analytics in the future of work. So just a small taste of the different areas of business that McDonough is really bringing students and the community around. In terms of our Master's in Management in particular, our MIM program is a 10-month full-time STEM designated program designed for students with between 0 and 3 years of full-time professional work experience. What you see on my screen now is our curriculum, and I hope that what you can see of this curriculum is the strong foundation in business fundamentals that students get from this program. Our MIM curriculum is actually patterned after the first year of our MBA program here at Georgetown, so you're going to touch on a wide variety of business topics in the program. You'll do things from ethical leadership to statistics, to operations, to accounting, consulting methods. You're really going to hit the gamut of different business skills in the program. I hope you'll also notice that we use the words analysis and analytics frequently throughout our curriculum. Much like many of the programs at the McCourt School of Public Policy, we have a focus on technology and innovation. And you'll really see this woven throughout our curriculum, even in courses where it may not be obvious. So for example, in the leadership communications course you take in Module 1, doesn't sound like that would be something with the technology and innovation focus, but you will be touching on that focus through different case studies and the topics that you'll be studying in class. The other really key piece of our curriculum that I think is important for students to know is that we do have a heavy emphasis on experiential learning. We really want you to get that hands-on experience of applying the concepts that you're learning in class to real-world scenarios. Throughout the program, you'll complete case studies, simulations, and other action learning. All of this is designed to help you understand what you're learning in class in a different way. And it's designed to help you build a portfolio of projects that you're then able to reference throughout your career and recruitment processes. I think the best example of this experiential learning in the project is our global business experience. This global business experience, we call it GBE for short, is a real global consulting project that you complete during the spring semester of the program. Our students are paired with businesses that have a real consulting project, a real problem that they want your help with. In the spring semester, you'll travel for 1 week to where that company is based, excuse me. So this year, our students will travel to Singapore, Dublin, or Buenos Aires. Those are the 3 locations for this year. Locations are always subject to change year to year, but I think those general geographic regions are likely to stay the same for our class that starts in fall of 2025. For that 1 week that you're on location, you'll meet with C-suite level executives of the business you're paired with, your client, and learn more about the business, their problem, their processes. But you'll also get a deep dive into the social, political, and economic framework of the location where your client is based. Once you return to DC, you'll continue to work with your client and the small team you've been working with virtually, and then you'll present your findings and recommendations as a capstone presentation to the program itself. On my screen here, you can see some examples of projects our students have completed in the past with clients based in Singapore and Dublin. I think that this experience is really valuable to our students for a really wide variety of reasons. But the one that I want to highlight for you all today is that I think this experience really helps our students build critical skills for their future careers and is going to set you apart when you're in interviews and recruitment processes. I also think this experience is really reflective of the global mindset that Georgetown McDonough wants to instill in its graduates. We believe that our students graduate from our programs with a mindset that's going to help them look at problems in a new way and is going to serve you no matter what field or career you end up in after graduation. Speaking about careers, I want to touch a little bit on career services in the program. So our Master's in Management students, in the program, you're taking courses that are going to help you build those critical skills for your future career. You're going to develop that sort of business problem-solving lens that we think serves students no matter where they end up after graduation. And because our careers and academic teams work together so closely, our careers team is able to really clearly help you articulate these skills that you gain in the program in your job application, when talking to employers, when thinking about jobs that are the best fit for you. So as a MIM student, you have access to a number of career services. The one I'll highlight today is our Senior Director of MIM Career Services. Her name is Karen Kawagu. She works exclusively with our Master's in Management students, though she does have a full careers team behind her as well. And we start our careers development process actually before you even arrive to campus. Our program runs August to May every year, but our careers process actually starts in mid-May, a couple of months before you arrive on campus. And that summer program includes a consulting boot camp and helping you get access to a number of systems that you can use as a Georgetown student to connect with alumni, learn about different industries, different companies, job openings, that type of thing. A lot of our careers work also is centered around a design thinking process, and it's really, the idea is to help you sort of design your life. We offer a series of workshops focused around this area that's really aimed at helping you explore what different industries and types of work feel like, and figuring out what is meaningful to you, what's going to add purpose to your life, what are things that you should be looking for in your job after this Master's in Management program. Overall, what I want to communicate through all this information is that our careers process is a really individualized process. You can meet a number of times, I think it's an infinite number of times, with our director one-on-one, our senior director, to talk about your specific career process, your goals, different materials, and get their help in sort of navigating the next step for you after our Master's in Management program. And they're there for you from really figuring out what type of work you're interested in all the way through negotiations. And you have access to our careers team after graduation as well. Our Master's in Management program is designed to prepare students with skills for a wide variety of industries and roles after graduation. So I think it's particularly helpful to see a little more information about where our students actually end up after graduation. Consulting and financial services are the two most popular industries our students head to after graduation, but we also have students working in technology, healthcare, nonprofit, government, consumer products, manufacturing, you name the industry. We've probably had a student go there in the past. On our website, you can look at our class of 2023 employment report, but I will highlight for you our couple of top employers for the class of 2023. They included Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, Heidrick & Struggles, Kraft Heinz, the World Bank, and Worldwide Technology. So I think that gives you a taste of sort of the really wide variety of industries and roles that our students go to after they finish the MIM program. And speaking of our students, I often say there is no typical MIM student. I couldn't give you the profile of a typical MIM student, but I can give you the profile of our current MIM students. I won't sort of touch on all of these numbers in too much detail. There is one number that I think some clarification can be helpful on, and that is our average years of work experience. It's 0.6 years of work experience, which is kind of an odd number. We get this number because about 50% of our cohort comes to us with 0 years of work experience right after an undergraduate or graduate degree. And about 50% of our cohort comes to us with between 1 and 3 years of full-time professional work experience. So that's how we get our average. Very few students actually come to us with 6 months of work experience. What I do hope is indicative in this class profile is the huge variety of personal, professional, and academic backgrounds that our students are coming to our program with. We're really proud of the diversity in our MIM program, and we think that it's an integral part of the MIM experience. During the program, you'll do the vast majority of your academic work in small teams. So you're going to spend a lot of time with your peers. Really, we are a tight-knit community in the MIM program, and there's a lot of collaboration that happens between students. So you're going to spend a lot of time learning from your peers. You'll learn about how they view the world, how they approach problems, how they implement solutions, and all of this enriches the things that you're already going to be learning in class. I also think, and I think this is true of any graduate education application you're going to fill out, I think it's important to communicate through your application the unique perspective that you'll be bringing to the classroom in whatever graduate program you decide to pursue. Every student has that unique perspective, and being able to communicate that to the admissions committee really helps you articulate how you're going to sort of contribute to the community they're building. In terms of our admissions and application process, there's some information on my screen here. I won't talk about it in too much detail. You can also find all of this on our website. Our next application deadline is our round 2 deadline on January 17th. If you apply for that deadline, you'll receive a decision from us by March 7th. I do generally encourage students to apply as early in the year as you can for a number of reasons. One, we automatically consider all students for merit scholarships. Their funding is going to be available. 2, there's always more seats in the cohort available the earlier in the year that you apply. And 3, in particular, for any students who anticipate needing a student visa to study in our program, we really encourage you to apply no later than our round 3 deadline of March 21st. And that's simply because of the visa processing timelines. We want to make sure you have enough time to get that student visa and arrive for the start of the program. On the other side of my screen, you can see our application materials. I won't go through them in too much detail. The one specifically that I will highlight is our application fee. We do have a $175 application fee, but we do also offer waivers of the application fee for students who attend one of a number of select virtual events we offer throughout the year. At the time of this session, the next event is a Spotlight on Consulting Careers after our MIM program event that we'll be holding on December 13th. That's available on our website and you can register there, but we offer a number of events before all of our deadlines that would award you an application fee waiver. If in doubt, you can always send us an email and we can confirm the next qualifying event for that process. In terms of the application process, once you submit your application, we'll be in touch to confirm we've received your application. And then we do have an interview process. Not all students who apply are invited to interview. Not all students who complete an interview will be admitted to the program, but all admitted students will have previously completed an admissions interview. Those interviews take place online, either by a member of the admissions team or an alum of our program. They're typically about 30 minutes, and they're really just designed to get to know you a little bit better and why you're interested in Georgetown and in our MIM program. Once you receive, if you get an invitation to interview, you'll receive your decision on the decision notification date for the round in which you've applied. And I believe that is all the information that I have for you all today. I think I covered most pieces, but I know we'll have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. This is our contact information, so you're always welcome to reach out to us, that MIM program at georgetown.edu. I am on the other end of that email address, so you will get a real human being with a response if you email us.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Lindsay, for your presentations. I believe Nicholas is here. Hola, Nicolás, bienvenido.
Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Gracias por la invitación. No sé cómo quieren que empecemos.
Bueno, a todos los que están conectados y conectadas, Nicolás nos va a contar un poquito su experiencia, cómo le ha ido estudiando, no sé en qué parte del programa estás, pero brevemente, si quieres en 5 minuticos, cuéntanos en general cómo ha sido tu experiencia estudiando en Georgetown.
Perfecto, gracias. Bueno, les cuento, yo me gradué en el 2023 de MIDP, que es el Master in International Development Policy. Actualmente me encuentro trabajando con el Banco Mundial y soy consultor independiente para algunas consultoras aquí en DC. Y soy cofundador de The Latin Project, que es una consultora que hace proyectos de desarrollo en la América Latina. De lo que les puedo contar sobre la experiencia que tuve en Georgetown, creo que Georgetown, el nombre habla por sí solo, es una universidad que tiene un montón de recursos que les pueden ayudar a avanzar en su carrera profesionalmente, pero también personalmente. Creo que la universidad también tiene un importante network de profesionales y de personas que están dispuestos a ayudar todo el tiempo. Y específicamente dentro de McCourt School existe un faculty y un staff que siempre está preparado para ayudar y para estar pendiente de todo lo que está pasando. Es un programa, o son programas challenging, son programas que requieren de un esfuerzo académico y personal importante, sobre todo uno que está fuera del país y está solo. Es un poco más, pues un poco más challenging, pero está todos los servicios de Georgetown y de McCourt. Pero creo que hay una cosa súper importante, y Lindsay lo mencionaba en algún momento, el tema de la comunidad. Tener comunidad dentro de la universidad es súper importante, y durante mi paso por Georgetown y por McCourt yo fui vicepresidente de Latin American and the Caribbean Policy Association, que es una iniciativa de estudiantes que trabaja en temas de Latinoamérica, pero al mismo tiempo estuve relacionado con LABA, que es From the Business School, que es el Latin American Business Association. um, Muy involucrado en todos estos temas. Entonces es chévere tener a las dos escuelas porque hay muchas cosas que se entrelazan entre McCourt School y el Business School, y las oportunidades son infinitas. Lo único que ustedes tienen que hacer es preguntar, estar siempre atentos y, como decía Lindsay, sometimes you have to say no to things that you can't do. So, esto es básicamente lo que he tenido, mi experiencia. Después de graduarme, el networking ha sido súper bueno, y me ha ayudado también a avanzar en muchos proyectos. Entonces, cualquier pregunta que tengan durante el Q&A y que les pueda ayudar, pues estoy pendiente, y si quieren compartir mis datos también, les puedo ayudar con eso.
Gracias, Nicolás. Bueno, a todos los que están conectados, si quieren hacer una pregunta, Nicolás, por favor, escríbanla en la sección de Q&A. Mientras tanto, mientras se animan, tenemos una pregunta para Marina. Elsa would like to know, how is the length of the program of the Master of Science in Management?
Yeah, great question. So our MIM program is 10 months full-time. So we start early August every year and end typically about the middle of May. So for us five, the first day of class will be August 4th, roundabout then. And you'll finish ballpark like the 15th, 16th, 17th of May. So it sort of depends on when the university sets commencement, but 10 months is the length of the program.
We have a question from our social media, and I believe it's for both of you. So what is the ideal student that you are looking for? Maybe Lindsay, if you want to start.
Sure. So I don't think we really have like a set profile of student that we're looking for. I think that kind of going back to that good fit. So we are looking for kind of students that have very clear motivation for why they're applying to the program that they're applying for. And so the opportunity to kind of articulate that is really in your academic statement. We kind of I think academic statements that stand out, they're really, students have are able to explain kind of their, what has sparked their passion for public policy, what has led them to want to pursue a graduate degree in that specific area, and then why McCourt. So what about our program is really attractive to you? Like, what kind of skills can we help you build? What kind of opportunities can we help you access to reach your next career goals? So we really want you to pick the program that's the best fit for you. And I think like we're looking for that good match. We'll also kind of look at, we want students that are going to be challenged in the program, but they're not going to get into a program that they're not prepared for. So we will kind of look at, academics as well, just to make sure that we feel confident that you can succeed and kind of the level of rigor of our curriculum.
Thank you, Lindsay. Marina?
Great question. So for our Master's in Management program, I would say the one specific piece that I mentioned earlier is we are looking for students with between 0 and 3 years of full-time professional work experience. So one question that we often get is, does internship experience count? If your internship experience was completed during your undergraduate degree, we love that. Put it on your resume. We want to see it in your application, but we don't count that towards that 0 to 3 years of full-time professional work experience. Generally, any work experience you have during your undergraduate degree, we don't count towards that 0 to 3 years, with the exception of any military experience you may have. We will count that towards that 0 to 3 years of full-time work experience. Outside of that, our Master's in Management program was originally designed for students who don't necessarily have a business background, but are looking to build those foundational business skills. So students from liberal arts or STEM backgrounds generally, but we accept applications from students of any academic background, including business. So to echo what Lindsay said, we don't explicitly ask this in our application, but you should be able to articulate in your application why you're interested in our program. So I'll often tell students, how have your experiences influenced your goals, and how is our program going to help you reach those goals? That's a great way to set your application apart and sort of help the admissions committee envision you in the program.
Thank you, Marina. We have another question for both of you. So, how do you select those students who will be receiving the discount of our agreement? Marina, if you want to start this time.
Sure, great question. So we automatically consider all students for all of our scholarships, and we will consider all students who qualify for the Colfaturo scholarship for that scholarship. And we do that as part of a holistic application review. So we will look at every single component of your application. One piece that is important to note is it is a merit-based decision. So it is not contingent on financial need. It's more about merit of your application. And again, I think similar to your general application, one thing that can really help you in that scholarship application is being able to clearly articulate that unique perspective you're going to be bringing to the classroom. We're really proud of the community that we've built in McDonough more generally and in our master's in management program. So talking about how you're going to contribute and add to that community really can help you stand out in that application process.
Thank you, Marina. Lindsay.
Yeah, and I don't think ours is much different. So I know like our agreement is up to 5 Colfaturo recipients. I don't think we've exceeded that threshold, so it hasn't really been kind of an issue. But yeah, we do take the holistic approach when we're reviewing applications for admission as well as scholarships. So it's kind of the overall strength of the application. And I think it's like the good fit, really. If you're kind of looking at 2 applications and they have the exact same kind of credentials and academics, it's really kind of that, motivation for applying. And are you, are we going to do well by you? Have you identified us as the good fit for you as well?
Bueno, por acá tenemos una pregunta para Nicolás. Sorry for switching to Spanish. ¿Cuál fue para ti lo más retador de estudiar el programa?
Tal vez lo más retador de estudiar el programa fue la carga académica en temas de estadística y matemáticas. Mi pregrado es en economía, pero digamos que tenerlo en inglés es un reto importante para cualquier persona. Pero de nuevo, existe un montón de herramientas, hay un montón de resources dentro de McCourt y dentro de la universidad como tal que les puede ayudar a sobrepasar lo que está, pues lo que puede hacer que está, digamos, siendo un reto para ustedes. Eso es lo principal y bueno, adicionalmente desde la parte personal, pues estar en un país diferente, con otro idioma, hacer amigos, hacer comunidad, todo esto también se suma a eso, pero una cosa que les puedo decir es que tanto McCourt como el Business School, McDonough Business School, tienen unas comunidades súper fuertes y a juntarse a esas cosas, estar con otros latinos y con otras nacionalidades también ayuda un montón, tanto a ser mejor académicamente como a tener un montón de oportunidades de manera personal.
Gracias, Nicolás. ¿Y qué le dijeras o qué le dirías a esa persona que está pensando en estudiar allá? ¿Cómo lo animarías, tal vez?
No lo piensen tanto. Si lo quieren hacer, es una oportunidad única. Ser aceptado en Georgetown es no solamente un achievement personal, sino un achievement para todas las personas que están con ustedes, apoyándolos en el proceso, incluso con el futuro, apoyando en el proceso. Esto es una oportunidad que muy pocas personas tenemos y que vale la pena explotarlo por nuestro beneficio personal, pero también por el beneficio del país. Creo que uno y ustedes también, creo que todas las personas que estudiamos este tipo de carreras tenemos eso como derrotero principal y es poder también devolverle al país y a la sociedad alguna de las cosas que nos han dado y cómo vemos que podemos contribuir. Mi consejo es pregunten todo lo que quieran, ask questions, ask Lindsay, ask Marina. They are all the time available to whatever you are doubting. Incluso yo les puedo ayudar con lo que necesiten, pero aprovechen la oportunidad, siéntense con tiempo, con tranquilidad, a pensar por qué quieren el programa, cuál programa quieren y a generar una aplicación que sea destacable. Ya ustedes escucharon de parte de Lindsay y de Mariana, ellos los que están buscando es que como estudiantes y como personas tengamos cómo aportarle al programa y que podamos beneficiarnos de lo que Georgetown como comunidad nos puede dar.
Nicolás, si alguno quisiera contactarse contigo, ¿cómo lo puede hacer?
Me pueden buscar por LinkedIn. Mi LinkedIn es Nicolás Quintero slash, no, dash Fandino. O me pueden escribir a mi correo de Georgetown, que se los puedo poner, no sé Luisa si lo puedo poner en el chat o si tú lo
Claro que
puedes
sí.
poner sí, y ahí los puedo ayudar. Ujú.
Perfecto. So, well, we do not have more questions, but just to finish, Marina and Lindsay, could you please give one piece of advice for those who are planning to study at Georgetown? Lindsay, do you want to start now?
Sure. I think that my biggest piece of advice is kind of doing your research. I think, we're here to kind of give you the information about our program so you can make the best choice for you. So I think there's, like Nicholas said, there's, admissions representatives for all the programs. That's what we're here to do, to answer your questions and kind of clarify things and chat about kind of what might be the best program for you. You can find on our website, we have lots of information sessions. We do one-on-one appointments. You can schedule like a Zoom virtual appointment with admissions representative. I would also suggest getting in contact with students that have gone through the programs that you're interested in. On our website, we have kind of a page of student ambassadors that list their program, where they're from, their email address, and they volunteered to email or chat with prospective students. So feel free to reach out to them directly just to kind of hear about their experience. So I would say just engage as much as possible to kind of figure out what's the best program for you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Marina?
I would echo everything Lindsay just said. I think that's great advice. Specifically for our Master's in Management program, I really encourage all students to attend at least one of our virtual sessions. To sort of what Lindsay was saying, I can sit here and tell you as much as I possibly can about our program from an admissions professional perspective. But at our events, our goal is to give you the perspective of other people in our community. So our careers team, our alumni, our faculty, our academic director, our current students, we want you to hear their perspective on the program and their experience at Georgetown, at McDonough, in the MIM program. So that is really going to help you learn more about the program, and then in your application, be able to clearly articulate why we're the best fit for you. So really taking the opportunity to engage in any way that you can. That again, much to what Lindsay was saying, I think that really helps students immeasurably.
Well, thank you very much, Marina, Lindsay, Nicolas. So that concludes our questions and our presentation. We really appreciate you taking the time today, and with no more to add, have an excellent evening and goodbye. Thank you very much.
Gracias a todos.